Hey, there's a lot of different ways to straighten, or no, I'm sorry, not straighten your hair, curl your hair with a flat iron. But this is one of my favorite ways, and I showed you a couple ways in another video, but here's one way that I do mine the most regularly, and I'll have to kind of talk you through it while I do it. So what I do, I'm going to start from back here a little bit, is I get a little section of hair, and then I want my hair to curl away from my face. So since I want to curl away from my face, that's going to be dependent upon how I turn my hair straightener. I'm actually going to turn it while I curl it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp, and then I'm going to turn it downward and just keep kind of slightly rotating it as I go down my hair. And then what that does is it gives it just a small curl there. It doesn't give it like a huge kinky curl or anything really tight spirally, but it gives it just enough to give me some body. And I just do that on mostly just the top layer of my head. And the very top layer, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take some tinier pieces just to give me a few more curls on the top. See that? And that's basically all that I do. A couple of tricks to doing this as quickly as possible. What I always do pretty much is I sleep on my hair wet, and for me what that does is it gives me a little bit of wave in my hair. I don't like to start from completely straight hair, because if I do that, that means I have to do this technique on my entire head, and this mom, she don't have time for that. So I just do it on the top parts of my hair where most people are going to see it. And I just make sure I get that around my face also. The hair that's underneath here is kind of covered by my top layer anyways. And like I said, when I slept on it wet, it just made my hair a little bit wavy on the bottom. See all this right here? I don't know if you can see that very well in the video. Like this piece right here was not touched by a hair straightener, but it has a little bit of a wave to it. I don't really need to do anything to that. I want it to look semi-natural. I don't want it to look so natural that it looks undone and like a hot mess, but I want it to not look like I, have a lot of really structured curls. Same thing on this side. I'm going away from my hair, and I'm just kind of turning it as I go. Simple as that. I love doing this with my hair because it's actually quicker for me than straightening it. If I want to straighten my hair, I have to usually take a shower in the morning instead of at night, and I've got to dry my hair, which that takes me forever because I've got super thick hair. Then I've got to straighten like every single piece, and that would take me forever. With this, if I miss a few pieces, no big deal, because I want my hair to be kind of wavy. What I really just want to look more structured is the top part of my hair. And if I have enough time to run a hair straightener through my hair to straighten it, I've got enough time to run it through to curl it. With a curling iron, it takes me forever because I've got to hold the iron in my hair for several seconds for each strand in order to curl it. And I just don't have time for that. If you have time for that, that's great, because I've seen a lot of people who do that with their hair, and it's beautiful. And if I did have time for that, I maybe would do it, but it's just hard for me to find the time to do that with such thick hair. Like with the bottoms here, I really don't have to do much to that. I want it to look a little bit neater around my face, so I'm going to touch up some of those parts. An important thing to remember is whenever you do a curl that you don't like, and instead of trying to fix it immediately, let it cool first. It'll be easier to fix after it's cooled because it will go the direction that you actually want it to go once it's cooled and ready to have some heat on it again. And in case you're seeing this video and you haven't read my blog, one thing that I would like to make sure I point out also is the fact that I'm not using a fancy hair straightener. This straightener came from Target. I think it's either $14.99 or $19.99. I'm not sure, but either way, it's a lot less expensive than buying one in a salon or one of the more popular names. And this, I think, works just as well. I like to take a few pieces on the top that are really thin like this one and just do the same technique, and it gives me just a little bit more of a curl up there. A little more fun. And for the back, I seriously just pull up a couple pieces like this. I turn my hot iron this way. I go through the hair and it curls it. I'm going to do the same thing with the layer underneath of it. I clamp, wrap my hair around it, turn my straightener a full 360 degrees, and then just go through the hair. So it's a little bit of a different technique in the back, but that's okay, because I don't have to worry about going away from my face when it's in the back of my head, since everything's away from my face back there. And literally this is it. I'm just going to do a few more pieces and I'm done. And it takes me hardly any time. And then I only wash my hair every other day. And I know some people are like, how do you get by with that? But sometimes I'll use a little bit of dry shampoo if my hair is oily at all. But generally my hair doesn't get very oily. My hair is a little more dry in nature. So, seriously, that's about it.